Well, I know sometimes, especially when I would do the in-person open mic, I said I'd start off with a couch gig like they do on The Simpsons. And sometimes I do talk about watching The Simpsons on my blog. It was the final line on last night's entry about how they brought back Edna
Yep,
Krabappel.
yep, it's probably
Uh,
ready now.
I'm not sure how I feel about that because I know they killed off her character, but of course, with anything, they find a way to write somebody back in if they want to. I can remember a fan of the Men in Black movies saying, "How could they do the sequel when they left it the way they did?" And it's like, well, I hadn't seen the original, but I've seen enough sequels to know that they find a way to write the story the way they want to if they want to make money and have people come. So that was really weird that anybody would say that. But well, you live, you learn. And now for the regularly scheduled jokes. Uh, well, of course, we just had Valentine's Day, and I know I've talked about the four candy holidays where I like getting discounted candy. And it went to the level of me going to four different Walgreens locations to see what they had. And uh, it as the saying goes, the legal disclaimer selection varies by store. I found a decent amount at two of them. One of them, it was the day after, and it was already a little picked over. And then when I went to yesterday, didn't have anything. But no problem. I mean, I still have plenty to eat for a while, like another week, and then there'll probably be something else that I'll enjoy finding, like when I was at Target Express, they had what was it, Bavarian donuts, and it's like, yeah, I like those. I should probably get those at some point. I just wasn't uh, capable of carrying them because I was walking there, not driving there. That does make it harder. But I like getting out for walks when the weather is nice, and the weather became nicer this weekend after nearly 2 weeks of not being nice and about sub-zero. That also explains why I did laundry this weekend. And I take my laundry off site, and I went to a laundromat where somebody was working on the lint traps on the dryer, and they said, "Are you using a debit card?" No, I think I've got enough cash money if the prices didn't change. She said, well, we've got new ownership. And it's like, well, that explains the ladder that I saw there and the coat of paint and how some of the signs were taken down. And then I ended up asking her what was the weirdest thing that she found in any of the lint traps. And she said, well, coins, rubber bands. I guess I expected to hear a little more than that because people can leave just about anything in their pockets when they're running laundry through the washing machine or the dryer. I've seen what was it? Bubble gum still in the wrapper one time, and of course, after it ran through the dryer, it was what very malleable. Yeah, probably a little melted too. Uh, Well, it's also fish fry season because Lent just started. I'm not Catholic, but I like good food that I don't have to cook. And I am aware of how, yes, easiest place to find fish fries during Lent are Catholic churches. Also, veteran groups, VFW and American Legion halls. But I went to a Catholic church in St. Paul this Friday. And of course, with the pandemic, that means takeout and I don't like my car's engine idling. I had to wait for the food. So it's like, all right, I'm just going to shut off the engine. And that seemed to work just fine. Drive up services, yeah, I guess in this case, I had to be fine with it. And then it also meant putting my window down, but the passenger side window because the way I went in. And they said, "Do you want this with it?" And it's like, well, whatever the $10 gets me, because well, why not? Uh, And there was a decent amount there. I mean, what was it? Lemon wedges, sour cream, and then those little plastic containers of coleslaw and tartar sauce. Yeah, I know they're more expensive fish fries than that one, so I feel like I got my money's worth starting off. And there'll be more to try coming up. And still doing the 2 movie weekends. The Redbox rental was The Vanished, which is a thriller starring Anne Heche. And I like thrillers. This one, no doubt, kept me guessing all the way until the end. And the main characters, yeah, not too sympathetic to them because things went from bad to worse because they started to get involved in the search for their missing daughter, and then they end up killing people. It's like, no, I don't think that's supposed to happen, but they did it. And then the other movie I watched was in my own collection, PBS documentary about Robin Williams. My favorite movie is Good Will Hunting, and I'm trying to watch some of these movies I bought. And I guess the lasting impression I had from watching this documentary was they said that he died, but not how. And I guess it'd be a downer to admit that he committed suicide, but he's not even close to being the only famous person that has. And of course, because it was public TV, that meant that they edited some of the lines in the movie clips that they showed. Because there was a lot of swearing in Good Will Hunting. That I will admit. I guess I didn't mind too much, but try finding a movie that doesn't have it. Yeah, I still have weird interactions with the general public too. When I go to the grocery store, I'm not expecting to see somebody come in with a dog, but that's what happened when I went to Aldi this weekend. And I was keeping my distance, and it's like, what was also weird was the dog had a coat on with army patches. And then eventually the dog came over to my cart and sniffed the cart, and then that led to me striking up a conversation with the dog's owner. I don't know why the dog wasn't on a leash either, but that was neither here nor there. It must have been a very well trained dog because it didn't bark once while I was there. And I said, yeah, I'm not used to dogs sniffing the cart. Usually they sniff me, and I call it being screened by the security system. And then he said something about dogs sniffing for drugs. And it's like, yeah, I went through customs in Canada, and a college mate once said he wanted me to bring him back Cuban cigars from Canada. And it's like, yeah, I'm not going to jail for you. And the dude I was talking to was surprised that you could find Cuban cigars in Canada. It's like, I think you can pretty much find them anywhere except America because of the trade embargo that was put in place before I was born. And I wonder what my dad would think about that too. It's like, well, that was even before my dad graduated from high school. As far as I know, that trade embargo is still in effect, even though that Castro's dead. But yeah, that was just plain weird. And then even one of the grocery store employees came around and said, can I pet your dog? Can I do that? Because they figured it was a service dog. But I know some people scam the system by saying it's a service dog when it's not. Yeah, I'm just the type that I'm not there to enforce the law. I just want to get in and get out. And I guess it could have been a lot worse with what was happening there. Oh, and I tried to file all of my income taxes at H&R Block online. They said it was possible to file for free this year, and it's like, well, not entirely. That was a little misleading. But the tax credit they found for me made this between having to pay this year and get a refund. So it's like, yeah, I'll pay the fee. But what was convoluted about it, now that's my favorite word because some things really are convoluted, was that if I said pay with my tax refund, that meant I would only get $1 of the tax refund. And it's like, nope, I'm not going to do it that way. So I paid with my debit card and then got my full tax refund. I guess it was fine if you pay the fee up front. I don't understand that. That's why I only filed the federal with them, and I'll just file the state one manually, so then I don't have to pay fee. Yeah, I'm cheap. I guess that also explains why I like discounted Valentine candy. Why shoppers stretch dollars? That was on a postage stamp I saw when I was a kid. And at one Walgreens I went to that didn't have the Valentine candy, they still had a nice find there. Two things actually. They had a R2D2 candy dispenser. So, well, they also had Yoda, but it's like, well, I like the droids and Chewie in the Star Wars movie, so it's no question which one of the two I would get. And here it is. And yeah, you hear the beeps from it when you want the candy. You have to press the button. But nowhere on there does it say R2D2, but most people know who that is. I don't know why I like the droids and Chewie so much in the Star Wars movies. I guess they're funny and they make a lasting impression without having to talk. I think that says a lot about acting when you can do that. I guess that also says a lot about Charlie Chaplin too. Come to think of it,
Are you okay?
I heard about Charlie Chaplin again recently on public radio. There were some refugees trying to seek asylum, and they were in Africa, and they said they hadn't laughed in a. They watched Charlie Chaplin. They hadn't laughed in a while. So yeah, that was notable. They want to talk about on public radio feature. And then I talked about being at the laundromat. So yeah, I guess that'll do it for me. You've all been great.
Woo! Thank you, Lyle.